Hey Capricorn, welcome to Key Wisdom Tarot. Ruth here with your brand new January 2022 tarot reading. We'll do, as we always do, my darlings, sun, moon, stars. So we'll look in the first row at your actions and encounters and experiences in the month of January. In the second row, we'll look at what's driving these experiences and what's going on beneath the surface for you. And then in the third row, we'll look at what's coming up. So where this path is leading you. Okay, yeah. Outcomes, that's the word I was looking for. And into February, basically. Okay, my darling, so I've been saying at the start of these January readings, just to explain a little bit about how this works. If you look outside the window, the weather of today is linked directly to the weather of yesterday. And the weather of tomorrow is linked directly to the weather of today. And that's just how it is for you. So where you stand today is a result of and because of exactly where you were yesterday and before that. And where you will be tomorrow is because of where you are today. And so when I read tarot, that's what we're looking at. We're looking at the nature of now, the nature of your experiences, and what lessons you might be learning from that. A little bit funny because that needs to go there and that needs to go there. Okay, card at the base of the reading is the Five of Cups. So it's an energy of release and change for you, for us, in the month of January 2020. So the theme seems to be about release, emotional release. So I always celebrate when I see these type of cards because it means transformation, it means change, it means wisdom, it means growth, it means understanding, it means if you feel that sadness, if you feel any type of sadness, that's a release. And that's you changing, that's you accepting something and then changing to feel differently. So let's have a look at what, pray tell, maybe about to maybe awaiting us in the month of January. So we've got the Knight of Wands, the Wheel of Fortune, we've got the Chariot, and we've got the Queen of Swords. So very much change in here, movement in here, as we can see. So if we look right at the first energy here, we've got the Knight of Wands. So the wand energy I like to class as the new parent energy, because it's like all the gear, no idea, all the enthusiasm, but no idea if it's gonna work. What's going to happen? I don't know, but I'm going to go for it. That's what this energy is about. And we're following something that you're passionate about, or that you're happy about, or that you're drawn towards, or that you want to see manifest in this world, or that you want to bring about in this world. And clearly, based on this, we want to bring about change. So we've got 1, 2, 3 cards related to change. You could say this is related to change and movement as well. So we know that it's about bringing in some sort of change in life, some change in your life, in your circumstance. And that change may mean that we have to say goodbye to something, or we have to realize something. We have to realize that something is no longer needed or necessary. It could be this, this way of feeling, feeling like this. There's no need to feel like this. There's no need to feel down. There's no need to, in a sense, cry over what you're releasing, what you are leaving behind, because quite clearly we are ready to do it. This is what we see here with the Knight of Wands. So we're going for it, going forward, moving toward our passion, putting on whatever. I'll do whatever it takes. I'll work hard. I'll work all these hours. I'll stay up all night. I'll do this. I'll do that. Anything necessary that's gonna help. That's helping you feel as though you are bringing in the changes and living the lessons that you have learned. And we've got the Wheel of Fortune here. So this this card, obviously it's about, we always talk about it's about change, it's about luck, it's about all that stuff, but it's actually, it talks of Dharma, and it talks of, and Dharma with a D, not karma with a K, Dharma is truth. That's what Dharma means. It means truth. And it means, one step further, it's an unequivocal truth. It's an undeniable truth. It's a truth that is true for any person in any context at any time since the beginning of human existence. It's a truth. That's what a Dharma is. And when we have the Wheel of Fortune, it means that we have learned a truth. We have gained a truth. We have learned a wisdom, and we have gained this understanding. And then this wisdom that we have gained, this understanding, this truth that we have earned with the Wheel of Fortune, then means that we therefore behave differently now. So we act in a way, our actions are shaped by the lesson that we have learned. And the truth that we have learned, not the lesson, the truth, some fundamental truths. So one of the truths is you can live your truth, or you can live somebody else's. You can live in the reality that they create, or you can live in your reality. You can accept what you're feeling. For example, another truth, another fundamental, unequivocal truth is that your emotions will surface. So whatever you feel, no matter how far you dig it down, no matter how far you bury it, it's not going anywhere. It's still there. That's another Dharma. And so once you know those type of Dharma, once you know those truths, then you think, well, is there any really point me denying it? Is there any really point me avoiding it? I might as well just accept it if I know that if I'm sad, pretending I'm not sad is not going to make me feel any better. Why don't I just not pretend to not be sad? Why don't I just actually, or whatever? I'm not feeling sadness. I'm just saying that's an example. So that's an example of a Dharma, of a truth. Because obviously if you have that truth and you know that, then that's going to then affect what you do going forward. You're no longer going to behave how you used to behave, are you? And therefore you're going to do new things, and therefore you're going to have new experiences, and therefore you're going to move in different directions and encounter new experiences, etc. And new wisdom and new learning, and so on and so forth. And so the cycle continues. We've got the Chariot energy here. So this is really us listening to that. And the thing that's propelling us forward, the thing that's propelling you forward is that wisdom, that truth, that understanding, that gnosis is propelling you forward. Your instinct, your intuition, your desire, your ambition. You know, the thing that propels us forward is, yes, the logic and the reason of this world. So there's limitations of this world. So there's only, 10 hours of daylight at the moment. So if I want to, do something outside in daylight, I'm going to have to, this is what the Divine Masculine would say, you have to do it within these hours. The Divine Feminine also says other things. So the Divine Feminine will say, yeah, but what about your desire? It's even though it's dark, maybe it'll be good lighting. I don't know, but I'm going to try it. And your intuition doesn't speak like I'm speaking. It's mute. It's absolutely quiet. But you get the urge to do something. And you think, well, logically it's not light, and, it really be difficult to create photography at this time of night. But I just have the urge to do it. So I'm just going to do it. I don't know if it's going to work out, but I'm just going to do it. Because the Dharma that you might have gained over the last year or last few months is, I've got to listen to myself. My intuition's something. It's coming from somewhere. So let me just respond to it. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just going to respond to it. I don't know. And it's both those aspects of self that are propelling us forward. So logically, I'm trying to start a business, but I need money to start a business. That's what the Divine Masculine would say. You need X amount of money to start a business. But, maybe if I just try doing this because this feels right. As I said, intuition doesn't speak like I'm speaking, but your intuition will, yeah, but I've got the urge, to just do it, even though I'm just going to try. Let me just try. And that is what propels you forward with the Chariot. It moves you toward, in this instance, we're moving headlong toward a brand new Dharma, brand new truths, brand new, so that means it's new experiences that we're having, with new experiences that we're having, and a truth as well. This is a clarity of consciousness. That's what this card represents. And actually, as mute as the Divine Feminine is, as I said, she speaks in urges, she speaks in feelings, she speaks in synchronicities. I say she, it's you, but you know what I'm saying. You speak to yourself in those ways. You find yourself looking at certain things on your phone, or reading certain books, or listening to certain music, or whatever. But in this instance, with it being the Queen of Swords as well, it's like there's a clear kind of understanding of what these synchronicities are, or of why you have to do that now, or why, yeah, I'm going to do it at night time, or yeah, I'm going to do it even though I've got no money, I'm going to just try it. You know, there's an understanding in your consciousness on a conscious level with the Queen of Swords. There's an understanding, a conscious understanding of why it's important to follow these urges, and why it's important to follow your instincts and your intuition, or these synchronicities, or whatever it is that's being your guide. Because what is happening, I think what is being released is that for this, it could be doubting yourself. You know, you could have doubted yourself in the past. You could have doubted, well, I should listen to that. I should, you know, there's only 7 hours of daylight, so I have to just do it there. Or you need X amount of money to do this, so I have to have this amount of money. I can't do it with less than that. Intuition says maybe you can. Is there a different way? You're encouraged, you're enthused, you're energized, you're ready, and you're wise, and you're able to trust, hopefully, if this is the theme, hopefully your intuition to help you along with the logic and reason of us reasonable people, to guide you forward, to move you along your path. So let's have a look what's driving these experiences for us. What's driving this kind of, this energy, this movement forward, this more attentiveness, this being more attentive toward ourselves. So yeah, it's truth. It is truth. This is your truth. This is your absolute truth, your dharma. It's like your clarity of vision, clarity of understanding is what's driving this. And this is coming from you, your divine feminine, your moon, if you will. That's what this is coming from. This clarity, you know, and actually the doing, you know, the wand energy, I like to say, is like the snake. You follow the snake. And that's a story from Ifa, West African spirituality, but I won't go into it now. But it's a story about following an actual snake, and then, you know, you get to the end, and then the pupil knows what to do, right? And they're wiser by following this snake. And just like in Adam and Eve, you know, the snake says, eat the apple, and they eat the apple, and they're wiser. They gain knowledge. And it's like you're following your instincts and intuition. Well, you know, logically, it might not make sense, but it feels like I should do this. And this following of intuition is actually a truth for you. That might be the truth that you've learned, but it's definitely something that's leading you toward truth. That's leading you toward truth, abundance, as well, security. You know, there's no point ignoring 90% of yourself, or 50% of yourself, or 80% of yourself because you can't see it, or because you can't hear it. If you feel it, it's there. Then ask me what is it to feel? Well, you tell me what it is to feel. I know, that's what I do. I spend my time meditating, babes. What is it to feel then? Is feeling less real than touching? Is it? Is a dream less real or less important than a telephone bill? Is it? I mean, I'm not going to answer the question for you, but this is you following your nudges, your urges, your instincts, your intuition. That's giving you that truth. You're going to feel strengthened, secure by that truth. And we have the 8 of Swords, and we have the Knight of Wands. So, along with the 10 of Pentacles, Ace of Swords. So, the Ace of Swords, we know what that means. We know it means truth. We know it means, as I said, that clarity. You know, you've got to grasp, in a sense, you've got to hold hands with yourself. You know, like Adam and Eve on the Lovers card, they hold hands with themselves, don't they? Or are they holding hands? I can't remember, but they're next to each other. And that's you holding hands with yourself. You know, Adam is you on the card, Eve is you on the card, the angel's you on the card, the tree's you on the card. It's all you, everything's you, okay? And you've got to hold hands with yourself. You've got to hold hands with that silent part of yourself. As I said, the bit that feels that you don't, as I said, Eve, I said to you, okay, well, what is it to feel? What is it to dream? If I said that to you, you couldn't answer that question, or you may be able to answer that question, or you may not be able to answer that question. But whatever, regardless of however you answer that question, it doesn't make it less real because you can't hold it in your hand, or does it? I mean, this cup I love this cup. You know, I always give them shout outs. I don't even know where it comes from. But anyway, and it says the universe. I love physics, like every good Reiki master should. And it says the universe is all existing matter and space, which has been expanding since its creation in the Big Bang. So listen, all existing matter and space, all existing, that's everything. So are you telling me that a dream that you have is less a part of the universe and less real than this cup or this clock or this table? Is it? This is what I mean about holding hands with the truth. You've got holding hands with your both sides of yourself, that mute part of yourself, because you feel, and even though you can't say how it is you actually experience sadness. How do you experience sadness? How do you experience fear? And you can talk about the physical aspects of it, but how do those messages actually get around your body? How? What is it to experience it? This is what I mean by holding hands with yourself. This is what we mean by when we say mindful. Mindfulness means full awareness. Mind just means awareness. Mindfulness just means full awareness. Full awareness just means awareness without attachments. Well, we call it sad and we call it down, or we call it whatever we call it, and that's an attachment. And mindfulness and holding hands with ourselves and being mindful and all that, that's just about seeing, feeling, experiencing ourselves, our realities, without any interpretation, without any noise from other people, without any noise from society, just trusting, just hearing, just listening. And that's where we discover our pentacles. That's where we discover our security. We discover it by actually engaging with what is inside, engaging with what is fully us, what is fully you. And these urges, these instincts are leading, and these truths are leading us toward movement and taking actions and making decisions and doing things based on what we've learned over the past year, over the past 3 for the Capricorns, but over the past year, and it's leading you toward this is you speaking to yourself, the moon part of yourself, going, this is what you're doing on the surface is going to lead to truth, is going to lead to security and abundance, is going to lead also to this. The recognition, the awareness of ways of thinking, being stuck in a certain way of thinking. For me, for example, I might doubt, so you might doubt, how does this work? Believe me, it's taken me all these years to understand to be able to answer that question. How does it work then? Well, what is this tarot? How does it then work? What is it? Why is that? Why does that mean that? I don't know. I mean, I'm sure other tarot readers ask themselves that question, but I asked myself that question, and I kept going until I find out the answers, until I understand the answers, and then I'm like, okay, now I understand. Now I can actually say that. Why is a number 1 a number 1? Well, that's one of my questions. But why is it a number 1? Why is a number 1 not a number 4? Why did someone decide when they were creating numbers that the 1 was going to look like a number 1 and not a number 4 or a number 8 or a number 7? Why? And as I said, I can now answer these questions, which is really, really good. But this is being stuck in a way of thinking where, this is you actually recognising that you have been stuck in a way of thinking. That's what this is. I can keep saying, it just changed, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 5. There is change coming in how you think, in how you perceive. And this is what's important. This is why we listen to ourselves, all of ourselves, not just the logic and the reason of, there's only 8 hours a day, or it's going to cost X amount of money. We don't just have to listen to that. I mean, you can only listen to that, but the rest of you doesn't go anywhere. The rest of you just gets louder and louder and louder till you pay attention to it. It just gets more and more uncomfortable till you pay attention to it, right? So we're getting to a point where we're actually discovering some truths about ourselves, some ways of cycles. 8 of Swords. 8 is about cycles, karmic cycles. Karma is the imprint of your past actions. So the past actions are what you think, what you say, what you do physically. So this is you, us. This is what's happening is that January, we're going to be moving differently, responding to our intuition, listening to our deeper self or our higher self, whatever you want to call it, listening to that side of ourselves because of the new wisdom that we've gained. And by following and by listening and by responding to ourselves, what happens is we discover something. We discover, oh my gosh, I can't believe I've always thought like that. I've thought this about myself for so long. Or I can't believe I've always just had that perspective and I didn't think any different. That's what this is showing us. That's what we're doing in January is going to display for us, is going to show for us. And I see here with all these swords, we're going to be making some breakthroughs and definitely releasing some stuff that maybe you don't even know that you carry, to be honest. Because it seems a bit like, it seems separate in a sense. It's very interesting how there's this 5 of Cups here and it seems so separate from everything else, and I feel like it's because it's really deep down. I feel like it's a really deep down sort of thing that you've believed, a really deep down belief, or something that you've carried and held onto for a long time. It doesn't matter if it's a long time or not, and it's subtle, you see. The deeper we go, the more subtle it is, the more the kind of the less we think it's a separate part of us, and the more we just believe that that's who we are. You know, people say, oh, that's who I am. No, that's who you are today, babe. That's who you are today, babe. That's who you've become because of your life and because of how you've thought and because of what you've done and because of what you've experienced, because of how you've acted to what you've experienced. That's who you are today. And tomorrow you can be someone different if you just recognise that that's just a temporary, it's just temporary, like every single thing else that has ever existed in the universe is temporary. So are who you are. And it's like, you know, you think of yourself and potentially you think, oh, I'm a misery gut. So whatever, doesn't matter what it is that you think. But it's like you, in a sense, get into the roots, because this feels like it's so deep down. It's like you look down at your feet and the ground is transparent and you can see through the ground, and you go about 3 miles down and that's where this card is. It's so far down, that energy. It's like so far down. So it could be karma related to family, actually. It could be ancestral, or, you know, so people always say, don't they, who are these people? They always say, people talk rubbish. People always say, you know, like father, like son, for example. Like mother, like daughter, for example. Absolute bull BS, right? No such thing. But we take on these stories. This could be one of those. It could be that, you know, this could be that type of belief or that type of feeling. And you feel different than that, but you've been told that you're just like your dad, or you're just like your mum, or you're just like whoever. You're just like your sister, whatever, it doesn't matter. But it's so deep down, and I don't know if you realise kind of how it actually affects your thinking about yourself. I don't know if you connect those two dots. They're so far away, but they are connected. Like entanglement theory, you know, so I'll use that for those budding quantum physicists out there, you know what entanglement theory is. No matter how far away they are, these two particles, it's an entanglement theory, you can Google it. It's in quantum physics. No matter how far away they are, if one shifts, the other will shift in the exact same direction. It will do the same thing, even if they're, you know, literally light years away. They'll never ever be separated. That's entanglement theory. That's in quantum physics, and that's a real thing. And it's like this. It's like what I'm feeling with these two things. It's like you don't realise. It could be, as I said, ancestral. It could be from your grandma, your great-grandma, whatever. It's like there's a kind of a thread that runs through to you, that it affects your thinking now today, but you don't realise that you think this way because of this thing, this old family thing. You don't realise that's why you think that way, for example. But you're making breakthroughs. That's what this is showing in this row, in this position. It's showing that we're making breakthroughs. We're coming into that awareness. And coming into that awareness leaves us with truths and abundance and security, okay? So let's look at what is going on in February, or as we move forward out of this. Okay, so, you know, you're starting to listen and respond to, excellent, okay, good. So you're starting to listen to respond, but, you know, as we enter, you know, the very end of January, as we go into February, you know, there's this kind of, look, indecisiveness. And see, it's interesting because it's kind of, there's a sense of, I was going to say, there's a sense of wanting to wait. This is about waiting to make a decision, even though you've already made the decision, waiting to act on a decision, for example. So so I know the truth now, but I'm not necessarily going to change my behavior immediately. Even though I know the truth and I understand the truth and I understand my reality and I understand the impact of it, etc., etc. Even though I know it, I'm not going to act on it yet. I'm not going to change my behavior immediately, even though I know that there's something that I need to... Because you're waiting. Again, I feel like you're really listening to your intuition at this point. You're literally following the wand. You're following that snake. You're following that fire, and you are being guided to sit and do. You are actually being guided to listen, to hear, to allow yourself to come up from the ground. That's just what I've seen now in my head. So, you know, it's like literally this is floating up through the ground now, and it's coming up to your head. It's like you're waiting in a sense for that wisdom to come here and here, like to come into the forefront of your mind, so you can actually decide what actions you're going to take. Now you have shifted this blindfold and released this energy, and you know, as I said, you're being guided to kind of wait, and it's because of this energy of transformation. So that is happening, and I you know, I've really enjoyed sort of, you know, working with this energy over the last few months, because, you know, I've been using examples, you know, like the transformation of, it's like a leaf on a tree. You know, you tell me, you know, a leaf on a tree, and it's alive, and it's a bud, and it grows, and then it's green, and then it browns, and if it's deciduous, obviously, and it falls off the tree, and it rots, and it becomes compacted into the ground, and then it becomes, and it just, is that leaf dead ever? Is it dead, or is it this? It's still a part of everything. It still exists in this universe. It just doesn't appear as it used to appear. It just doesn't have the same form or the same shape or the same purpose or the same use, but it's as integral as a part of the soil that then becomes a part of the, I don't know, whatever, the puddle, whatever. It's as important an integral part of its world as it was when it was a bud on the tree or a leaf on the tree. Just, that's what the energy of transformation is about. It's about the fact that you are not the same. Your thinking is not the same. You try as you might, you can't make yourself think in that way anymore, because you actually know the truth. Try as you might, you can't make yourself feel that way anymore, because you know the truth, because you've seen the truth, because you understand. And that's what this energy is about. So it's exciting for me, because I know that, you know, March is the time for beginnings. That's when the spring is sprung, and that's when we kick into a new year, if you will. And you're on track, Capricorn, for the transformation that you need, and for this to set you up for an amazing 2022, because you're coming in wise, you're coming in strong, you're coming in determined to do whatever it takes, to take whatever actions it takes, because you know that the actions that you're taking, wherever the urges are coming from to take those actions, are actually helping you to see who you are, and actually helping you to discover what's within. And that's the thing that's providing you with that security and confidence, and you're transforming really out of this energy and out of this, so that no matter how long that string is, no matter how many generations that trauma goes back, you're actually getting to a situation where you're actually understanding it. You might take some time out, reflect, sanctuary, this energy of the Four of Swords, mind sanctuary. So that means that the blindfold is coming off in January and in February, and you're moving toward this transformation. So completely transform your thinking, hopefully for the year, and for the well, not hopefully, 100% for the rest of your life. That's the power of this energy of the transformation. Okay, my darlings, my fellow Capricorns, I hope you like that reading. I'll be back in January around the 21st with your brand new reading. If you haven't please subscribe, etc., etc. Keep an eye out for Key Minds, which is my mindfulness brand, Tantric Mindfulness, Modern Tantras, which I'm going to be doing some little videos between now and March that you can just catch and watch. Make sure you subscribe, etc. Don't worry, listen, you're gonna hear about it, but just keep an eye out for those videos. If you want more mindfulness, etc. It's all mindfulness. I'm so excited. And tantra, etc. Okay, my darlings, have a wonderful festive season, and I'll see you all again in January with your brand new readings. Take care, my darlings. Bye.